Yes, hello. My name is Jose Martinez. I am, we're now in the Knox Conference 2020, March the 6th. And my full name is Jose Luis Martinez. I was born in a little ranchito outside of Matehuala, San Luis Potosí called La Luz. To this day, there's no electricity in La Luz. When I was 4 years old, my family migrated from Mexico. I arrived to this country as an undocumented student. At the age of 7, we began migrating between South Texas and Southwest Michigan. I began working in the fields at the age of 7, picking blueberries in a small town called Grand Junction, Michigan. I worked in the fields from the time I was 7 years old to the very day I went off to college. I picked strawberries in Paw Paw, Michigan from about 6 in the morning to about 12 o'clock noon. Ran home to the migrant labor camp, took a shower, and by 5 o'clock that same evening, I was sitting in my dorm room in Alice Lloyd Hall at the University of Michigan. I have 7 brothers. I don't have any sisters. And out of all my brothers and I, we all finished high school and we all graduated from college. When we moved to South Texas, we lived in a colonia, which is the equivalent of similar to what people call a shanty town. There was no running water. There was only an outhouse. If you had to go to the bathroom, you had to go outside, rain or shine, day or night, hot or cold. That was what we had available to us. So again, I worked in agriculture my whole life. My family, my parents also worked in agriculture. And because of that Michigan, South Texas relationship, when it came time to go to school, to go to college, my older brother had started at the University of Michigan, and I really liked the university, so I followed him. And in total, 6 of us graduated from the university with our undergraduate degrees. Now I have brothers who are attorneys. There's a brother who's a pharmacist, educator, entrepreneur, industrial designer. So we've done quite a bit. After graduating from the University of Michigan, I decided that I was going to work, and I worked for the University of Michigan School of Public Health for about 5.5, 6 years. Then I decided I wanted to pursue a master's. And at the time, I was still very committed to working with migrant farm worker families. And I remain to this day very committed to continue supporting migrant farm worker students and families, particularly in the area of education. So I decided that I wanted to pursue a master's degree in Chicano studies, and I decided that California was the place to do it. I was familiar with the Midwestern migrant stream. I wanted to get an idea of how things worked for migrant farm workers in California, and I did an internship with La Unión del Pueblo Entero in Salinas and with other organizations while I was down there. And after finishing my degree, I decided to move back to South Texas, where I pretty quickly began working with migrant college students through the College Assistance Migrant Program as the director for the camp program here at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. Used to be UT Pan American.
Mr. Martinez, what was your master's thesis? What was the title of that work?
For my master's thesis, what I was focused on was nonprofit organizations, Chicano-based nonprofit organizations, and the impact that they have on the community, which is one of the reasons that I partnered, or I interned with La Unión del Pueblo Entero in Salinas, and then also with MACLA, Movimiento de Arte y Cultura Latinoamericana. And so that was the focus of that graduate work. Once that was over, down the road, I decided that I wanted to pursue a PhD. Again, I knew that my focus had to be around migrant farm worker issues. So I went to Michigan State University in the Chicano Latino Studies program. And the focus of my dissertation is really understanding how migrant students make sense of the family responsibilities that they take on when they're very young as they transition to higher education. And what I found was that for the majority of the students that I interviewed, their responsibilities to their family, whether it be taking care of their siblings, whether it be working, whether it be translating, and a host of other responsibilities, that was a primary factor in deciding whether or not they moved away for college. Those that stayed cited that as a very important part of their college decision-making process. which stands in contrast with what has historically been identified as a pretty linear three-step process where students do some investigation. There's some predisposition about where they might want to go, and then they ultimately decide. It never factors, at least in those three process models, the family and their roles within families rarely factors in. Whereas for these migrant students, those responsibilities that they took on oftentimes since very young, at the age of 8, 9, or 10, played a major role in where they decided to go. And this is where I believe my academic research will continue to go: higher education, Chicano, Latino education, and in higher education. That's where my specialty is at this moment.
Bueno, muchas gracias, señor Martínez, y entiendo que tiene algún conocimiento con la familia Medel allá en Michigan.
Tenemos una familia, la familia Medel, linda familia allá de Saginaw, unos compadres míos y buenísima gente, y son muy conocidos ahí en el área de Saginaw, en Bridgeport, ahí por Saginaw.
Bueno, muchas gracias. Con permiso.